How's it going, guys? Shane here from the GnG Elite DBS team, and I know this is kind of weird, a little bit different than normal. My computer's down at the moment. I just need to get a new DVI cable, and I haven't got around to doing it yet. So I'm using my phone to do this, so hopefully it's not too bad. Hopefully it's not too weird. I won't have any visuals like deck lists or anything to go along with what I'm talking about, but it's better than nothing, so here we go. Anyway, Pro Play Tour Dallas is this upcoming weekend, Easter weekend. Originally, we were not planning to do this event. We had zero intentions to do any events after the celebrations until the regional season started in June. But Ryan was like, yo, we need to do this. Let's do this. So now Marcus, Ryan, and myself are going to Dallas. So we've been trying to test a lot last minute. It's very hard. So we haven't got a whole lot of testing done. But we think we'll do all right. Hopefully. Maybe. So I figured I'd just kind of talk about the meta going into Dallas and the way we feel about it. You know, our feelings might be wrong, but this is the way we feel after our testing, which again has not been very much. Marcus and I's work schedules make it very hard to test a lot. Me working night shifts and Marcus working your normal, 8 to 4, regular person job. Makes it very hard for us because I'm one of those people who I would rather do things after work, not before work. So I'm available in the mornings, but he's already at work at that point. He's available in the evenings, and I'm asleep. So it is what it is. However, we've had, pretty decent success at events in the past without a whole lot of testing, so should be fine. All right, anyway, let's talk about the format. So, looking at the 3 celebration events with set 6, there's obviously, the big 3, I would say, in terms of, not necessarily like the best 3 decks, but in terms of popularity right now, or at least at those celebration events. We have Skillless. Skillless does have 3 different variants. You do have the red variant, the yellow variant, and the blue variant. Technically, you could play green, but it's just the worst of the 4, and you're just better off playing the other colors. I mean, green getting full power energy for the mirror match is pretty neat because you can always just pop their Android 8s, and that's how you win the mirror match typically, is controlling the Android 8 war. So, I mean, there is that, but I don't think that's really worth playing complete green. So, for anyone who does follow the Facebook page, Gamers and Geeks Elite, you know that we were hardcore testing a blue-yellow variant of Skillless just to get access to both Bean and Nimbus. However, in our testing, we found out that, at least in our opinion, that Bean was not good defensively and is pretty much just good at extending your plays to be more aggressive. So we opted to just go straight to yellow. So keep an eye out for that. We'll post our final list right before the event. If you want to go follow the Facebook page, Gamers and Geeks Elite, where you can keep up with every time we post a video, every time we're going live on Twitch, every time we post fun decks on Tuesdays, and when we post just random deck lists because we feel like it. Follow that page, whatever. We've done giveaways before. We'll probably do them again. So, anyway. So, Skillless. Red variant. You did see, I think there was one in Top Cut of San Diego. In theory, I'm just assuming it has the best mirror match because it's able to more easily control the Android 8s. With the extra Gokus, it's easier to pop them and kill their Android 8s because you have more access to Gokus than they do. So, other than that, though, I would just rather play blue or yellow. Blue is easily able to extend its plays of Sensu Bean. That can be really great. So blue is probably the variant where I would want to be playing like Dimension Support Trunks, maybe, just to get more pressure against decks like Broly, or at least sideboard Dimension Support Trunks, even if you're not mainboarding it. Because I do not believe mainboarding it is correct right now. I think you need those Overrealm slots for things like Mass Sand. Which I do think is the Overrealm tech of choice this weekend, Mass Sand. Anyway, playing blue, you do also get access to Gogeta 7, which I believe one of the decks in San Diego was doing, was mainboarding 2 Gogeta 7. And that makes sense. If you're playing blue and you have, 8 vanilla 2-drops, 4 of which are Goku, 4 of which are Vegeta, have the same power, why not play Gogeta 7? When you play these decks like Ramp or Janemba, you get to 5 energy and you're just like, Gogeta 7, I win the game pretty much. Card's good. Yellow, though, seems to be the best going to the format, in theory, just because Nimbus is so important, Crusher Ball is really good, things like that. So, yellow's probably going to get the nod. I know I'm focusing on yellow now for the event, just straight yellow. So, it's probably what I'm going to do. It's probably what most people will do. Enough about skillless. Broly. Broly is just very linear and simple and consistent in doing what it wants to do, and those decks are typically always good in C play. Broly can go underneath the Super Shenron deck because it is really aggressive, especially if it fires on all cylinders. It can go underneath that deck, so that's worth noting. And it is, of my opinion, that you'll see a lot of people playing decks like Janemba just because of the way the format is right now. And I could be wrong about that, but I do feel like blue control decks in general will be somewhat popular. And Broly, in my opinion, does really well into those decks, so... Sorry, I keep trying to remember to stare into where the camera is on my phone, but I keep staring to the other side out of habit. It's really weird. Anyway, Super Shenron is, of course, the big bad heading into Dallas after having strong performances in not only Charlotte, but also Chicago, and then taking first and second in San Diego. As people learn to pilot this deck better and are learning that maybe High to Mastery is just more consistent and stronger in the main board altogether, the deck seems to be doing a lot better. It's one of those things where if your opponent doesn't have matchup knowledge against Super Shenron, like whether it's Storm or High to Mastery, it's real easy to punish them. If they just don't know the matchup that well, it's just real easy to punish them. It is, if they're not playing High to Mastery, it is fairly similar to playing against Storm of old, but you have to be more conservative because they're going to take a second turn, and unexperienced players just don't know how to combat that. So, it's real easy to take advantage of that. The big plus here with Super Shenron is that, like, yes, the deck has lots of answers. Tons of answers. Dark Power Black Mass Sand, Tournament Pack Veku, Borgos, Whis, Striving to a degree. But Crisis Crusher makes that manageable. You slam turn 1 Crisis Crusher, and you can usually just snowball. Like, not snowball, I guess, but, like, if they're smart, they're not going to play one of those guys turn 1 because you're just going to pop one a turn and they're not going to get any value. So, like, turn 2, they'll slam, like, double Whis or, like, a Borgos and a Veku, you know, whatever. Or Veku does have barrier. So, the ramp deck can be kind of annoying, but the ramp deck's the only one that can play Veku, so it's not as worrisome. But, anyway, turn 2, your opponent just slams, like, double Dark Power Black Mass Sand. And, yes, it's going to take you 2 turns to clear those off the board, but whatever. Now... And, like, to be fair, your opponent can go, like, turn 2, double Dark Power Black Mass Sand, turn 3, Borgos, but that's very fortunate drawing on their part, and there's not a whole lot you can do about that. Like, they just drew the nuts. It is what it is. Ramp. You don't really see Ramp a whole lot in singles. Pat O'Neill kind of broke it out in Charlotte Team Wars, but no one's really been playing it in singles. I do think the deck's strong, though. It can outvalue decks like Skillless. Just like once it ramps out and just dropping bomb after bomb after bomb, especially if they're able to answer your Android 8s, then there's not a whole lot you can do. Hit's a very good card, Kefla's a very good card, Gogeta 5 is a really good card, Goku Noob's a really good card, Gogeta 7's a really good card. The deck's just full of really good cards. The 10-drop Fu is a really good card. Has the most answers to Storm, which is relevant. Veku from the Tournament Pack is the best answer, in my opinion, and because it has Bear. And it is, like, the only deck that has access to that, unless you're playing, like, just a red Gogeta chain deck, which, you know, fair. Gets Borgos, gets Striving, gets Dark Power Black Mass Sand. The deck just gets lots of answers. So, deck's good. And for the Broly matchup, it does have constant removal. And for, like, any hand control matchups, it does have constant draw power. So, Ramp is a deck that I think people are sleeping on, and I think does have potential, and no one's just playing it for whatever reason. I'm not saying the deck's great, I just think it has potential, and wouldn't be surprised to see one or two do well. The Agents deck, you know, Zap Daddy's, you know, grand unveiling of the format. The Blue Dende Agent Destruction. From what I've seen, it only really seems to struggle a lot with the yellow. Simply because you force them, they have to have minus Killy Zone, or it's going to get Crusher Balled. And even if they do have minus Killy Zone, you just play Nimbus and stifle their turn. So, I don't know. I haven't played with agents a whole lot, just a little bit. I played into it with like Janemba and stuff like that, and that's about it, honestly. Trevor's been the one playing it, and he's been out of town, so we haven't really played with it. I've had his deck. I've just been focusing on skillless. So, I don't know. Agents just seems like... Agents feels like the deck that... how do I put this? Subpar players are going to flock to, because it's a combo deck, and people love combo decks, especially really degenerate combo decks. However, the amount of skill and knowledge between like how to sequence the deck properly to make it absolutely broken, I don't feel like a lot of those players will have the capabilities to do that. So I'm not going to be super worried about the deck. But the deck in the right hands is absolutely nuts. So you have to be careful once you get to the top tables and like the later rounds or in day 2. The people playing the deck then will have that knowledge, will be good enough to do that, and will do it to you. So you need to be ready for that. Janemba, other, blue control decks, I do think are in a really good spot right now, and I think we're going to see a fair amount of Janemba this weekend. So if you are not prepared to play against Janemba, you're doing something wrong. Because most people I talk to are sold on Janemba being bad. I don't think that's the case. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they're wrong. I don't know, but I'm not sold on that. I think Janemba's in a good spot. With easy access to something like Godstrike Beerus, it makes it easier to play around Storm as long as you have that in your hand. You just hold off your Awakening, blow all your untaps during the first turn that they play Height of Mastery. They're tapped out. They can't bad ring Dimension Magic or anything, so just use all your untaps there. Like, take a life to play Dimension Magic, start using your beans, do whatever you can to survive. Turn 2, Godstrike Beerus. They can't bad ring your Godstrike, whatever. That's been the way I've consistently handled Super Shenron with Janemba, and I feel like it's fairly consistent. Yes, you do have to see the Godstrike. If you don't see Godstrike, it's not going to happen. So you want to play at least 2, maybe not 3 because it's a 2 Gods combo, but playing 2, I felt like I saw it fairly often because Janemba does draw a fair amount of cards. The problem with Janemba, though, struggles with ramp because big bombs. Skillless can give it issue because of the 30k attackers. Janemba has always struggled with decks that go tall. So, however, Janemba decks are playing a lot more negates now. It's not like last format where they were playing like 5, maybe 6. The Janemba decks that we've seen at events lately are playing like 11, 12 negates. So that's insane. That's probably their way of dealing with skillless, in my opinion. Whis is great into things like skillless, having Whis and Dimension Magic. So, and then Broly is a green deck, so Janemba's going to struggle with that a little bit, because Janemba always struggles with green decks. Story of a blue deck. Last but not least, my sleeper deck for this weekend, besides Janemba, is Chain Attack Zeno of some kind. There's almost no Cold Bloodlust in this format right now. Not a lot of people are playing Broly. Though you could see an uptick in things like Golden Frieza. Hernandez has really been hyping that Lemon Lime Golden Frieza deck, as well as some other players. So you could see some of that. But the way it stands right now, there's not a whole lot of Cold Bloodlust, and Chain Attack Zeno resets a lot of the advantage that these decks are generating. Skillless generates a lot of advantage, Chain Attack Zeno sends it back. Broly generates a lot of advantage, Chain Attack Zeno sends it back, as well as their board. Super Shenron generates a lot of advantage, sends it back. Ramp sends it back. Now, granted, it's not going to be as good against Ramp, because Ramp's able to just draw cards back once they awaken, so you'll probably lose that matchup. But if you're able to like streamline hits and they don't have like the big cards that you can't take, it might work out for you. Agents, if you can pull off a turn 3 chain attack, you'll probably be fine, as long as they don't kill you on turn 3. As long as they don't win the die roll, kill you on 3 while you're on 2, then if you pull off a turn 3 chain Zeno, you should be fine. And Chain Attack Zeno has always been good against Janemba. So Chain Attack Zeno, I think, it's a sleeper deck, and I may even switch to it last minute. I doubt it, but it's possible. If I'm just not comfortable with skillless, I'll switch to Chain Attack last minute. I'm really high on something like Chain Attack Harudegarn right now. I have 0 testing with it. Just in theory, it's something I feel strongly about, having, decent matchups across the board, and would be interested in playing. So, anyway, I think that covers just about every deck. If I missed anything, let me know. This is the way I feel about all the decks heading into this weekend. I think skillless is the safest play, just because the deck is simple, That's why I'm playing it, because we haven't really had time to test, and I just want to rely on my own skills as a player to try and do well. Just comboing efficiently and things like that for success. Super Shenron is, of course, broken, but does require sequencing and things like that. So if you're not good at sequencing with combo decks and things like that, then don't pick it up. If you are, pick up the deck. You'll do great. I would stay away from agents personally, but that's just the way I feel. And I do think Janemba and Chain Attack Xeno are pretty decent right now, but that's just me. So anyway, guys, that's it for me. Hopefully this wasn't too bad without any visuals. I'm sorry. I'm going to try to get my computer fixed soon. I just got to go get the dang cable, and I keep putting it off because night shift makes things hard. I don't feel like going to Walmart at, you know, midday when I'm, like, tired. So anyways, guys, that's it for me. We are starting our new content schedule this week. So a little bit about that. Every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, there will be a YouTube video. It's no longer going to just be me taking over the channel. Everyone else will be doing it. Now that we do have 10 members on the team, there is Marcus, Trevor, myself, Greg, Ryan, Marquise, Dylan, Rory, Robert, and Brian. So that allows us to put out more content without, you know, 1 or 2 people having to do a lot of it. So videos will go up Monday, Wednesday, Friday. We will alternate units every 2 weeks, so you'll see me in some way, shape, or form every other week. Now, Tuesdays, remember, we stream on Twitch at, was it Gamers and Geeks Mobile AL on Twitch. Every Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. Whoever's streaming that week just streams whatever they feel like doing, whether that be playing games, talking about stuff, whatever. Every Tuesday on our Facebook page, Gamers and Geeks Elite, we also will post fun decks of some sort. Tomorrow, Dylan will be posting a Frieza Prison, I think it's Chain Attack, something like that. He already sent the list to me, I just can't remember exactly what it was. So that'll go up tomorrow. We'll have a different one every Tuesday, where, you know, just be the deck list, and they'll talk a little bit about the pros of the deck and what it's trying to accomplish. Every Thursday, an article goes up on Patreon that is free to read. It just gets posted on Patreon. There is no you don't have to give us money. The articles are free. We write them for y'all. So go check that out. Yeah, that should be it. So make sure to like the video, comment if you have any questions, subscribe to the channel. Go check out our Twitch. Make sure you follow that. Go check out our Facebook page. Follow that so you can get updated on everything whenever it goes up. We're really going to grind and slam this content with the new regional season. So that's it for me, guys. And remember, stay elite.